Before we get into the video, I just want to apologise for the second half of it, as unfortunately I made quite a rookie mistake and didn't check my audio levels. So a lot of the audio ended up being clipped, and I've tried to lower those levels down a fair bit, but unfortunately clipped audio is clipped audio, so it sounds terrible. So I apologise in advance, but I hope you still enjoy the video. Thank you. Welcome back to the Mothership 3.0 vlog. This is part 3. In this video, we are definitely going to get it done. Whether it's today or in a couple of weeks' time, who's to say, but hopefully as long as my son sleeps, we will get this done. So let's have a look at where we got last time and go from there. So currently it probably doesn't look like that much with everything stripped out, no graphics card, no back wall plate or anything like that, but everything's actually prepared and ready to go. So there's the back wall plate there. I've just got to actually rip the vinyl off that. I've already done that one over there. And other than that, it's basically putting it all together. I've done all the behind the scenes prep work of cutting tubes and stuff like that. So all I've really got to do is put it all together. So I've only just realised now my microphone wasn't working in the last 2 clips that I recorded, where I was talking about how I did this, which was basically colour the backside of it orange, like this one here, and then you put a vinyl sticker over the top and then paint it your black or whatever you want. I usually use black, and then the way the orange shines through. But yeah, it turns out my mic wasn't working, so I didn't need to discuss any of that. And also the paint that I use is Rust-Oleum. I find there's only seems to be gloss in orange, at least from where I get it from, which gloss isn't too bad as a shining through one, but make sure to get matte black. I can't stress that enough. The glossy black just is really sticky, dust sticks to it, and it's horrible. It doesn't even dry properly for some reason, but that might be just me. So get the fuck up. Today's the day. Today is the day that we are going to get this done. All I need to do is put in the fluid and hope it doesn't leak. Everything else is connected up, all the tubes, 99% of the cabling apart from the pump. So let's take a look at where we're at. The shroud's in with the screen. I'll show you how that's connected up shortly. GPU, all the tubes, CPU, radiator down the front, pumps all connected. Around the back, all the cables are connected. All I got to do is fill this bad boy, which basically add a tube in here with a funnel on it, and also crack this one open so that there's air and the fluid should go in. For the fluid, I've got EK Cryo Fuel Pastel Fire Orange actually, which is a pastel colour I should say, and I've got 2 bottles of that. I reckon once I swap this over, as I'm planning on putting whatever the high-end 4000 series of Ryzen is. My boss doesn't know yet, but I'll be asking him to order me one of them, and of course an X570 motherboard. I'll be swapping this Threadripper out for it. So in the next couple of months, hopefully, I'll have that swapped over to there, and then these tubes will be slightly straighter because I'll have to make a new back block for that to align the CPU and stuff like that, as I don't reckon on the X570 board it would line up. It'd be very rare if these lined up with that. So I'll have to swap in a new one of them, and they'll be slightly straighter, as you can see. Like, let me try to get them square on. They're not exactly straight, they're down low a bit, but not bad for a first attempt. My mic did cut out when I was explaining this last time, so let's make sure it doesn't do it this time. Basically, these screens, they're powered by a 5-volt cable which goes into the back of your motherboard as a USB cable, and that provides power, and then of course the HDMI to provide picture comes from your graphics card. So this is technically a second screen, and then you just drag your overlay on it, which I made in AIDA64 SysTemp, which you'll get to see in the final video loaded up on it. You probably won't see it today because it's just basically filling today, but yeah, and that just sits as a secondary monitor. I generally in the display settings, I put it above any monitor because you're less likely to drag your mouse up onto it instead of putting it, say, to the left or right, because you're always dragging your mouse left or right, so fair chance you always get your mouse stuck on it. Whereas if you have it up above, you're less likely to lose your mouse. Just a little tip for you. So basically, to fill a loop, you have a tube up here, goes to a funnel, so that, you know, you've got more volume to fill it up instead of trying to fill it up in this little tube here. And then also you have to crack open another opening, and that's to let the air out, because of course as you replace the volume in here with fluid, air has to be pushed out. And I'll show you how it's set up around the back. So here at the moment we have just the pump connected via a Molex cable. So the rest of the system, when I turn this old granddad's power supply on, only the pump will run, so none of the other systems will run dry or anything like that. And then you also have to bridge the 24 pin connector, which I just use a plastic bridger. You can also use a paper clip, but I'd rather not do that. And that'll get the power supply to switch on when you switch the button at the back of the power supply, and that'll run your pump and push the fluid through. So now it's sort of filled, and you can probably hear the power supply and the pump in the background. Comes the somewhat scary part, is you have to get all the air out, and to do that you have to tilt the case. So not just a little tilt, like just a quick forward tilt like this is going to be hard one-handed, but like a nearly sitting it down sort of thing, and that'll bring all the air into the top of the reservoir here. Then you crack these, put in a bit more fluid to replace the air, and push the air out until you've got most of the air out of your system. Yeah, water cooling's not fun. Forgot that I told you that I would show you around the back here. So that's what that back plate sort of looks like here, with like all these, as I said, the dirty loops behind all connected up. And this here is the drain. So I've got that just sitting up at the moment, but if I go something like that, then more's going to pull out too, because that wasn't quite full. But that basically has a T-junction fitting here, which you probably can't really see because I'm not a very good cameraman. And so one bit goes up and the other bit dives down to the drain. It's always best to have your drain at the lowest point. So this is below this front radiator here, so it's the lowest point. Even though the ports at that radiator are at the top, so it's going to be incredibly, this radiator here at the top means it's going to be incredibly hard to actually drain that radiator. I'll have to take it out and literally turn it upside down to drain it. This should drain the rest of the system fairly easy. Well, this is it. This is basically as far as you guys get to see. Hopefully you can't hear that really annoying fan that I think it's going at the full 2000 RPM. But all the custom colouring and stuff like that, obviously it's not going to stay unicorn vomit, and all the panels are going to go back on, but that's going to be revealed in the actual mod video. So you guys get a little sneak peek of this is basically what it looks like, but without the custom colours and panels, and of course fan tuning, which I desperately need to do. Hope you guys enjoyed and look forward to the mod video. But thanks for joining me. Hope you guys like this vlog style sort of thing. I was thinking of maybe doing it more, obviously a bit more professional. I have a bit better camera gear now, and I won't be using the FZ1000 like I have been using for this series. Although I was using a GoPro in part 1 and I really hated that. It just didn't turn out the way I wanted. So I've been using my FZ1000 for part way through part 2. And then the whole of this video, but it's just better colours, dynamic range and things like that. But I'll be swapping over to my Blackmagic 4K generally for some on-camera stuff, which will hopefully be coming soon. Let me know what you guys thought, what you might do differently, any questions you sort of have. Chuck them all down in the comments, because I'd love to read it, love to read your feedback. And thanks for watching. See ya. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like, and if you really enjoyed it, please consider subscribing for more behind the scenes and other content in the future. If you have a suggestion, question, or criticism, leave a comment below, and thanks very much for watching.